Imagine a massive civilization spanning thousands of star systems that has survived for a millennium by making one strict rule: absolutely no new ideas. Welcome to the Carrion Empire. This society rose from wreckage. 1,000 years ago, the old Imperium shattered when its last leader, Emperor Orion Sol Phoenix, was assassinated. The resulting centuries of chaos pushed humanity to the brink of extinction. The survivors didn't rebuild aiming for glory or galactic expansion. They rebuilt out of sheer terror. To prevent another apocalypse, they decided the safest path was to stop moving forward entirely. Maintaining a perfectly static galaxy across thousands of worlds isn't natural. It requires an incredibly rigid, oppressive system of control to police human nature and keep the gears from turning. The Empire survives by indefinitely postponing its own extinction, willingly locking humanity into a second dark age to keep the end of the world at bay. This diagram illustrates how that lockdown works. Instead of a single emperor, real power is divided into 3 pillars: law, faith, and economy. They function like locking gears, specifically designed to crush any upward momentum by constantly mistrusting each other. The first pillar is law, enforced by the Codex Knights. These are warrior monks who hold absolute legal supremacy, backed by untouchable pre-fall relic weapons like disintegrator rifles to ensure their rulings are final. The second pillar is faith, driven by the Church of Holy Light. They provide the philosophical justification for the lockdown, teaching that the old world fell because humans worshipped machines. They punish unauthorized technology and artificial intelligence research with immediate death. The final pillar is the economy, managed by the Guild of Unified Commerce. Since AI is strictly banned, the Guild relies on Tau engineers, human children chemically and mentally conditioned to perform the massive calculations necessary to run a galactic economy. These 3 factions form a flawlessly designed engine of arrested development. They balance each other perfectly, ensuring no single group can ever evolve enough to dominate the others or change the status quo. This map outlines the day-to-day operations of the galaxy, divided among 10 great houses. These tightly packed sectors represent territories where oligarchs control local trade, fleets, and armies under the watchful eye of the tripartite. To prevent a full-scale civil war, the Codex allows for sanctioned duels. These are highly regulated, limited conflicts involving espionage and assassinations that let the houses vent their political ambitions without breaking the peace. The houses can squabble, but they cannot threaten the stasis. House Phoenix is currently testing that limit by secretly trying to clone the dead emperor to reunite humanity, an act of treason that directly threatens the survival of the current order. The deterrent against that ambition is absolute. When houses Gorgon, Jackal, and Kraken stepped out of line with unauthorized wars and heresy, the Codex responded with total extermination, leaving 3 empty voids in the galactic map. By turning all their energy inward to suppress internal threats, the Empire has perfected self-policing. But this obsession with maintaining the interior has left them completely blind to an older, existential threat waiting on the outside. Drifting in the dead systems on the fringes of the Empire are the black monoliths. These massive, seamless spires reflect no light and predate humanity in space. They pulse with gravitational waves that distort reality and twist memory. These spires serve as anchors to the Void Realm, a dimension outside normal space-time. Nightmarish entities spill out from the monoliths, taking on twisted human forms to feed on fear, grief, and emotion. This tactical illustration maps out the only ways to permanently sever their tether to our reality through conceptual destruction: fire to burn their echo, pure faith to sever their anchor, or relic disintegration to erase them. The Codex strictly forbids studying the monoliths. To acknowledge and fight this cosmic horror would require researching new technologies, adopting strategies, and unifying the houses, actions that would destroy the very stasis the Empire is built to protect. The Carrion Empire's absolute commitment to stagnation leaves it totally incapable of defending against an evolving cosmic threat. This refusal to adapt trickles down to the average citizen. To maintain total control, the great houses enforce brutal living conditions, creating systemic poverty and misery in the lower districts and industrial moons. When people are that broken and the official church offers no real solace, they look elsewhere. They turn to forbidden faiths, cults that worship the void and the monoliths, believing that these horrifying entities offer salvation. This chart outlines the feedback loop at the center of the Empire's decline. Oppressive stasis creates mass despair, which feeds the void cults and entities, forcing the Empire to lock down even harder. There is exactly one exception to this total gridlock: the Void Runners. These independent captains renounce their families and house ties to act as neutral couriers, the only group legally allowed to cross borders freely to keep the stars connected. They are the last free people in a chained galaxy. As the whispers of the void grow louder, these runners represent the final flicker of movement, and they are the only ones positioned to act when the doors of the monoliths finally swing open.